The first stock that we're going to talk about today is up over 532% in 1 year. Do you have any idea what stock that might be? I know I've talked about it.
Is it a coin of some sort?
It is not.
I don't know.
It is Abercrombie and Fitch.
Dang it, I should have guessed that.
It has gone from $20 to over $100, and I think it hit $196 today.
Whew.
Pretty insane. I don't think I've shopped there in 20 years. So
That is not true.
that's not true. I did buy sweatpants there because the stock was up so much already this year, but
Yes.
it's pretty impressive. I've seen some videos online where people are just waiting like 30 minutes for rooms just to try on clothes, which is absolutely crazy. But there's a reason I think that that is the way it is because over the course of the last like 6, 7, 8 years, a lot of other companies like Forever 21 and Express and all these other names have gone bankrupt or out of business. So that only leaves a few other players left. And then you have to kind of go, well, if I'm gonna shop clothes for my teenager, where can I go? Really, you only got like 2 choices now. It's like Abercrombie and American Eagle. So I think that's a reason for why the stock's up, historically 500% in a year when it's done nothing for over a decade. So
That's crazy.
it's pretty interesting. I don't own it in this portfolio, and I don't think Jill does either. So something that we missed out on. But other than that, last week I bought Zapata. It is down about 5% this week. Jill, you bought, I think, AMC and Lulu last week, right?
I did. Lulu is down 8%. And AMC is down 4% in the last week. So I made awesome decisions last week. Yeah. That was not good.
It happens. But when
That's okay.
when you sell AMC, we're going to spend a lesson on that one. So I'm not trying to be facetious about it, but there's a reason I would not have touched AMC. But we'll come to that bridge when we cross it. So overall, I wanted to mention that we're both over $1,000. This is coffee money. We put it in here every week. It's $50. It's been, what, 5 months now? So it's kind of impressive to watch just a little bit of money every week grow. And now we're seeing shifts of that entire week's amount, sometimes within 2 or 3 days. So it does pile on. And that's kind of the reason we started this whole channel. So with that said, Jill, at the beginning, you said you knew nothing. Give me 2 things that you've learned in 5 months.
I would say the biggest thing I've learned is just being able to kind of look at the graph and just get a better feeling for things. Like there's been some times where I've been thinking, okay, this week I'm just gonna buy more of something I have. And I will literally look at like a week, 3 months, 6 months, and a year of graphs. And granted, I don't have like verbiage to understand,
To explain what it is.
to explain why, but I will look at some and I'll be like, nope, that's not the one. So I just have interesting like intuition. I have growing intuition.
Growing intuition. So chart goes up, you like it, goes down, you don't like it, unless it's Lululemon.
That's not true. I actually think like if it's been rising for too long, I'm like, ooh, I don't want to buy at the top.
Okay.
So I kind of look for something that's maybe not super, super drastic or like super drastic, but I'm like, there's no way it's going further down. Like it's got to go back up from here. I'm obviously not always right because that's what I did with Lulu last week. You even called out like, wow, Lulu just went straight down. I'm like, there's no way it's going farther. So I bought it and I'm down 8% since I bought it. So obviously that's not always correct, but I would not have even felt confident to look at a graph and do anything or make any decision before this 5 months.
Interesting. And I think with Lululemon, it's probably got some competition with that new Aloe brand or Alo or whatever it's called.
Well, they're not new.
They're not new, but I've seen it more and more.
Well,
that might be
them
one reason.
and Vuari, I feel like, are giving them a run for their money. Just in my local shopping centers, I feel like those 2 brands are definitely growing. In fact, in Scottsdale, they are located right next to each other. The Alo or Alo and Vuari. Yeah, they're right next to each other. And Lululemon's kind of like over here and not very busy.
Interesting.
So that is definitely interesting.
So other than the chart, what's one other thing you learned?
I mean, logistical stuff.
How about let's go emotional wise, seeing money on a screen going up and down.
I've definitely learned to not be as emotional, but I feel like there was only one way to answer that question. Would you agree, audience?
It's hard to say. Maybe you see, because right now you're winning. You've been winning nonstop. So I'm very curious to see.
Well, maybe that's why I have confidence to not panic.
Is why.
But I would say, to kind of just go off that, another thing I've learned emotional-wise is, or maybe not emotional-wise, but I look at the world different. Like,
yes.
if I'm out shopping or if I'm driving past Starbucks, I look at how long the line is and I think, does that contribute to what the stock is doing? Like, I just see the world different.
It happens.
It's like when you're shopping for a car and you're like, I want a blue car. All of a sudden, that's all you see is blue cars. Like, now all I see is, oh, I wonder if that's public. Or I know that's public. That store looks dead, or their line looks long, or like I look at things differently all the time.
So a different world perspective. I like it. And that does happen. It's happened to me for the last 10 years. So I like those two things. Those are pretty good for 5 months without me really saying anything other than we're putting money in an account, buy what you know. So if we ever want to go over really in depth, let me know. We'll spend maybe a whole session on charting or technical analysis or fundamentals, whatever it might be. So we could have a really long episode one of these days.
I would like that, and I think the viewers would like that.
All right, we'll have to plan one of those then. So after 5 months, this week, I'm gonna have Jill go first. Jill, what'd you buy this week?
I already kind of gave the hint that I bought something I owned. So, any guesses?
A repeat buy.
A repeat buy.
Let's see, we were in California this weekend. I don't think you own Disney. I'm gonna say Nike.
Nope. Amazon.
More Amazon, all right.
And I did this because I was looking at the charts and some of my other favorites were like too extreme and the graph just didn't make me feel some type of way. Amazon felt like it was kind of like hovering, like no big drastic.
It is very close to new all-time highs.
Looking at like hoping it comes up. However, I bought it after the market closed yesterday, so I had it as soon as the market opened today, I had it. And I did go down a little bit today.
It's all right.
But it's still one of my best in my portfolio. Like, I love it. And it's Amazon. Yeah. It's going nowhere, okay? I will keep this in business as long as I live. So I'm not worried about it. However, it is just funny that it went down technically today.
So I feel like, because it's been 5 months, you go with Amazon when you can't figure out anything else that sparks your interest, which is totally fine. And I think that's actually pretty awesome. Because I would do the same thing.
I would say Amazon is one of my go-to for that, but I was open to Costco, Sprouts, Amazon.
Quite a few different names.
There's a handful that I'm like, these are my goats. These are my guys.
And Sprouts has made a big move too.
I really like Sprouts. It was between Sprouts and Amazon yesterday, for sure.
Interesting.
But I went with Amazon. Didn't pay off today, but I know it will pay off eventually because I love Amazon.
Sounds good. And this week, I went with a name I did mention this weekend. I'll give you a guess. What do you think it was?
Reddit.
No, that was close. I went with Reddit in this one. So I went with this one because I think, and it's for the same reason Abercrombie is making the move that it's moved. They're also restarting their fashion show. So I bought Victoria's Secret. So
that's right.
I think I plan on holding this one a little bit, probably through like 2 or 3 earnings, because there's no real reason to buy it yet. But the fact that they're bringing back the fashion show in the old format, I think is going to kind of reinvigorate the brand. And there's not a whole lot of like lingerie brands that are even out there that just have stores. There's a lot of online ones, but as far as if they can make this shift, I think that it could be a big move in Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret has had long enough where they just really...
And they've survived.
They felt, but they were like flat.
Yeah.
Like,
They've lost
look at
a
these
lot.
silky pajamas for your mom. Like,
yeah, not the style.
And they still survived, but I feel like they've had long enough to figure out, like, this is not what's selling. It's not where we're at.
I agree. And it was a brand built on, sexy fashion, like lingerie, and then it just changed everything. You got rid of the runway show. You went, I would say, woke. And then I think they realized that's not where the money actually is. So when I heard that they were bringing back the fashion show, I was like, that's gonna
Bring back the diamond
pretty
lingerie
people.
set. No, they always, in the runway show, they always had one that was pure diamonds.
And they had the big wings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
remember that.
there was always a bra and underwear set that is pure crystals.
It's like the big one.
And that's just like, I mean, I don't know who in their right mind buys that.
I like it, and I'm still, Reddit's still on my radar too. So, but the fact that we can only buy one thing, I might have to sell something, buy Reddit. I usually don't like buying information technology names when they're at an IPO, but the market's been so weird, they could just have a crazy run, but I wouldn't buy it for like the long term. Reddit would be a trade. So if I do, we'll see. In summation of that, do you have any questions for the week? Or anything? No? Yes? No?
Is the buckle public?
The buckle is public. So keep that in mind.
I was just thinking of that when you were talking about Abercrombie and
Yeah, but
American
the buckle
Eagle.
closed at the store that we went to. So
Yes, but they are still open. They're still open.
They are still open.
They're not like out of business. It was just that one location.
And speaking of the buckle, there's a sweatshirt that I own. Maybe I'll take a picture of it. But like, I get comments on it every time I wear it. Like 2 or 3, everybody's just like, where'd you get that sweater?
It's so bizarre.
And it is weird. It's very weird.
I could be darn near naked. If he's wearing that sweatshirt next to
So
me,
strange.
he will get asked about his sweatshirt.
Very odd.
Tits out, won't matter.
Tits out.
Sweatshirt, dude, I love that sweatshirt. Where, oh God, snazzy. Where'd you get it?
It's weird.
The buckle.
The buckle.
The buckle.
All right, so we're gonna sum up this month. I am down 2%, I think a little under 2% for the month. So May wasn't that great. Jill, your May was plus 4.39%. So you had a pretty good May. Overall, Jill is currently at $1,461.79 plus 8.28%. So this week, we both kind of went down, but that happens. Overall, from $50 a week, you already got $1,400 after 5 months. It adds up.
Can I hit pause?
You don't have to hit pause.
No, I mean just on you.
Yeah.
Not in the editing. So this weekend, we were in Anaheim and we were at a hotel. So I did break the rule. I went to Starbucks because I was competing in a bodybuilding show and I needed a black coffee in the morning. It was at the hotel. Sue me, call the police, whatever. I got Starbucks. For the first time, by the way, since this has happened. And it was a black coffee. Black coffee, tall, which is, they're small, right? For those who don't know. $7.06. $7.06
A regular coffee.
for a black, small coffee. Okay, to be fair, it was an Americano, so it was espresso, but it's espresso
kind of
and
insane.
water. There was no cream, no sugar-free vanilla, like nothing. Small black Americano.
And I paid $8 for a liter of water. Prices on like food, and it's like the food prices are astronomical. There's an egg. I mentioned this to you. There's an egg company called Vital Farms. They're public, and their stock's up like 300% this year.
That's because
It's like food prices are out of control.
But my
Side
point
note.
was
But
that
yes, the
I
coffees.
haven't had Starbucks in so long because of this.
That a $7
And then,
Americano
you
is
go
insane.
next to Disneyland, to be fair, it's kind of a touristy spot, so they're probably more expensive. But I'm like, a small black coffee, $7.06.
It's out of control.
So if you're really putting this into perspective and you're not getting a fancy Starbucks, because most of you probably don't drink just a black small Who orders a small? Like, who's got time for that? So if you're ordering anything else, you definitely have money to put into this. Like,
yeah,
unbelievable.
I would agree.
Unbelievable. Unpause.
And I am currently at $1,281.48, and I'm down this year 5.08%.
This year?
Overall for the year, yeah. So just the last month I was down 2%, but
Overall, okay.
we start to catch up with each other if you perform badly and you're still putting money in there, and if I start performing even mediocrely, our numbers will slowly come together until
Closing the
the
gap.
market makes a big move one way or the other. So the gap always gets closed because we're always putting in more money. So
But I'm still winning.
keep that in mind. But yeah, you're still ahead by what, 13%, something like that. So pretty awesome. And I think that about covers it for this week. We will be back next week.
We will. Peace out.